What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for December 29th, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Sunday edition of the podcast. Sunday game day, Kelly Green Day. Big day for the Birds with a chance to clinch the division. Might as well get right into the Eagles to start. It is the Kenny Pickett show this afternoon, and that leads to a recap of yesterday's question of the day. I asked you, who needs to play better, Kenny Pickett or the defense? 60% of you said it was Kenny Pickett. I think the defense needs to play great today in order to keep Kenny Pickett and the Eagles in it. More on that in a minute when we get into the three keys. But first, congratulations to Eric Allen. He was named one of the 15 finalists for the Hall of Fame. Hopefully, the Hall of Fame voters do the right thing and put Eric Allen in. He certainly deserves to be in. And then next up, we make the push for Seth Joyner. But I think the finalists get announced the weekend of the Super Bowl. So Hall of Fame voters, do the right thing. Put Eric Allen in. He has the numbers. He deserves it. He should be in. All right. This game, the line is still at 7.5. The over-under has dropped to 38, though. More on that in a minute. But as I mentioned, it is the Kenny Pickett show. Nakobe Dean is doubtful. That's going to be a huge loss on defense. However, Bryce Huff is officially listed as questionable, but they did activate him from the injured reserve, so he should get some time. Should be able to provide a little bit of depth, if not production. At least that way you can get Sweat and some of those guys some rest. And hopefully anything you get out of Bryce Huff at this point is a good thing. It also means Oren Burks will be the starter opposite of Zach Bond. We should see some Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Perhaps, just maybe, this is the breakout game for Jeremiah Trotter Jr. We know that CeeDee Lamb is out for the Cowboys. We know that Dak Prescott is out. Cowboys are just banged up, but they are going to come out fired up to play this game. So how do the Eagles win? Here are my three keys. And as I always say, Key Bank, car dealership. If somebody's out there that wants to sponsor this segment, hit me up. But I think the first key to the game is it is Dallas week. We saw last week. We saw against the Steelers. We saw numerous times this year with Nick Sirianni. This team has a lot of passion and a lot of emotion. And the fact that it's Dallas week, you need to keep those emotions in check. That is a must. No stupid penalties. No stupid ejections. Kenny Pickett himself grew up an Eagles fan, playing against the hated Dallas Cowboys. Everybody needs to keep their emotions in check and play the game. I'm not saying don't have that passion and that energy. I'm just saying keep the things in check. No stupid stuff that's going to get you injected or cost us 15 yards here or there. So that's the first key, is keeping those emotions in check. Second, yes, at 60% of you said that Kenny Pickett needs to play well, but I'm saying it's all about the defense. Play like they did the first three quarters against Washington. Play like they did during the winning streak. Erase that fourth quarter. Play pressure on Cooper Rush. Make him uncomfortable. You don't have CeeDee Lamb to worry about, so I need Slay, I need Quinion, I need Cooper. I need you guys to shut down the receivers, turn them into a one-dimensional team, get that pressure, and don't let Donald beat you, because recently he's been their number one guy. So don't let him run all over us. Force turnovers. We talked yesterday about the 44-6 game. 5 turnovers. I don't need 5. Give me 2. Give me at least 2 turnovers and keep your offense in the game, because there is going to be a time or two. Hopefully it's not a long stretch, but the offense is going to struggle under Kenny Pickett. It's just going to happen. So get after the quarterback in defense. Been saying it every week all season. Going to say it one more time. Do your job. And finally, the third key to the game. This one's on the coaching staff. Set Kenny Pickett up to be successful. You got to trust him. Trust him. Yes, he's not Jalen Hurts, but trust that he is a capable, probably a higher end backup quarterback. and let him make throws. Set him up early with some easy slants to AJ or over the middle of a tight end. Get him in a rhythm early. Allow him to get confidence early, and don't abandon the run. They're going to stack the box until you can show that Kenny Pickett can keep them honest, but don't abandon it. That's what's gotten us here this far, wearing the teams down and then running away with it in the second half. And then Kenny, be smart. Don't try to be a hero. Do not be the hero. This is like the quintessential game manager game for you. So if the Eagles set him up to be successful, manage the game, let your weapons do all the work and do what they get paid for. So those are 3 keys to the game. Keep emotions in check. Defense, get after Cooper Rush and keep Donald in check. And then offensively, from a coaching perspective, set Kenny Pickett up to be successful. I think you got to get him some nice, easy passes, get that confidence going early. It's going to be a rainy day. It's going to be a little bit warmer. So get him in a rhythm early, and it should be an easy victory. Now, as far as the pick, we're 7-8 on the year so far, and that line scares me with Kenny Pickett. While I can see them coming out and blowing the Cowboys out, I see this being a close game, low-scoring game. I mentioned yesterday, even though it's 38, I still like the under in this game. I see this as like a 20-17. It's going to be a sweat at 38, but I see this as like a 20-17, 20-16 type game. I do think the Eagles win. We win the division. We're celebrating that division. Everybody rests next week. But I think the Cowboys covered. So that's the official pick. Eagles to win, Cowboys to cover. I gave you the 3 keys to the game. Now they just need to go out and do it. It is a Kelly Green day, too. And I have to mention that they're undefeated since they brought them back 3-0. They've played 2 of those games in the rain. So I think the Miami game was in the rain last year. But either way, actually, it was raining for the Jacksonville game this year, too. So they've played in the Kelly Green jerseys in the rain. So let's keep that 4-0 going, and let's get this win the NFC East, and then look ahead to the playoffs. But that does lead to today's question of the day. It is game day. You know where I'm going with this. Who do you got? Eagles, Cowboys. Hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line 267-495-8531. That'll get you in. Who do you got? Eagles, Cowboys. Let me know. Give your thoughts on the game, predictions, bold predictions, whatever you want to do. It's all fair game. All right, let's get into some housekeeping. I mentioned this yesterday, but I'll mention it again as we're slowly winding down 2024. Everybody does New Year's resolutions. It's played out. I'm not doing New Year's resolutions this year for the podcast anyway. However, in order to bring the best energy, the best karma to our teams for 2025, we're going to start forgiving people. Obviously, we have a reputation for being tough as Philly fans, and that's all well and good. But we need to change the karma. We need to get into that new Philly mentality. Stop hanging on to things that happened in the past, and just, as Elsa would say, let it go. So this is where I need your help. If there is anybody you think should be forgiven in Philly sports, whether it's a player, an opponent, coach, general manager, whoever, let me know that on the Back to the Future voice and text line. I'm working through the list right now. I have about 40 people on the list, and we hold a lot of grudges apparently. And that list could be way bigger. So let me know if you have anybody that you think should be on the forgiven list, as we're trying to just change the vibe and get that good karma going for our teams in 2024 or 2025. Be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mott at Twitter and TikTok. On Instagram at PhillyJimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mott, and continue to spread the word as we try to grow this thing. Then also check out my boys at the Clashing Conferences podcast, doing great things over there. And then go to Philly Goat. I showed you yesterday. I'll show you again. Can't wait to wear them today. But the bird wings. Get the bird wings. They're so comfortable. Ankle support. I've talked a lot about the canvas loafers that they have. They're just as comfortable. And they look awesome. So go to Philly Goat, get the Birdwing shoes, use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off. That's phillygoat.com, promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off and get your Birdwings. Do it. Today's a good day to do it. All right, Flyers back in the win column yesterday, 3-1 over the Ducks out in Anaheim. Noah Cates had a goal. It's his 5th straight game with a goal. Sam Ersson looked good after the break, stopping 32 of 33 shots. Mishkov did sit out the third period. John Tortorella said it's more of just him getting adjusted to the schedule and the grind of the NHL. Nothing to be worried about, just sort of one of those rookie learning curve things that are going to happen. But Flyers 3-1. They're in LA tonight to take on the Kings. And then if you stayed up, I was able to catch some of it. I was dozing on and off throughout this. Sixers had another win out in Utah, 114-111. That's now 9 out of their last 12. Joel did play, had 32. Tyrese had 32. Paul George didn't play as much because he was in foul trouble. But they should have blown the Jazz out in this game. They left them hang around. They played great defense, forced a ton of turnovers, but let them hit some big shots and kept them in the game. But shout out to Paul George and Tyrese Maxey for hitting some clutch foul shots late in the game. But 9 out of 12, you have to take notice now. The Sixers are sucking us back in as they slowly climb back into the playoff race. But that game should have been a blowout. Absolutely should have been a blowout. All right, today we're going back to 2009. And on 2009, it was a day that pigs flew for someone like me. It was the Eagle Bank Bowl down in Washington, D.C. And honestly, never in my life did I think I'd ever see Temple football have a winning season, let alone go to a bowl game. So, of course, I was in attendance down in D.C. for this game, RFK Stadium. Temple did have a 21-10 lead at halftime, was feeling good. Everything was looking cherry and white, if so to speak. However, a Bernard Pierce injury and costly mistakes throughout the second half doomed the Owls as they lost 30-21 against UCLA. It was only Temple's 3rd bowl game ever, the first since 1979, the Garden State Bowl. They lost this one, but the future was bright under Coach Al Golden, who started to turn that team around to the point where they were a nationally recognized program. ESPN Game Day came, Notre Dame came on Halloween, but the future was bright, even if it was for a brief period. Maybe the new coach is going to be able to pull some Al Golden magic. I don't know. But, man, I would love to go back to those days where the future was just bright and we didn't know what we were about to embark on. But on this day, it was the Eagle Bank Bowl down in RFK Stadium. The Temple Owls losing to the UCLA Bruins 30-21 in a game they had a 21-10 lead in. But then Bernard Pierce got hurt. Stupid mistakes in the second half. But, again, to me, it was the day that pigs flew because I never in my wildest dreams thought, would Temple make a bowl game, and I would be in attendance for it. So the Eagle Bank Bowl happened on this day in 2009. We'll have more on the Sixers and Flyers as we go, but it is Eagles game day. Who do you got? Eagles, Cowboys? Hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line. Let me know who's on your forgiven list. Who should we include? 3 keys to the game, though. Keep the emotions in check. Set your quarterback up to be successful, and defense, go after Cooper Rush. Don't let him and that offense do anything, and let's get this game, get out, get the NFC East, get everybody healthy, and look ahead toward the Super Bowl run. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for December 29th, 2024. My name is Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Sunday, and until next time, go Birds.